Welcome back, everyone, to another explainer. Look, if you're building AI apps, agents, or automated workflows right now, you know this landscape is moving at absolute light speed. But here's a little secret. Most developers don't actually need another brand new AI model. Nope, what we really need is just one clean, unified way to use all the ones that already exist. So today, we're looking at Kyma API. It's a platform that promises to help you stop managing tedious API infrastructure and start actually shipping your products faster. One key, one balance, the whole shebang. Okay, let's dive into this. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Are you absolutely tired of managing 10 different API keys? Because if you're an indie hacker, a developer, or a SaaS founder, just thinking about your API stack is probably enough to spike your blood pressure. Think about the reality of building a multi-model app today. You've got one API key for your reasoning model, right? Another one for your coding model, maybe a third for image generation. That means different pricing pages, different dashboards, different SDKs, and multiple invoices to track every single month. It's a massive friction point before you even write a single line of core logic. You end up spending your whole day managing API providers instead of just building your app. Think about the old way of doing things. It's just a chaotic, messy web. You're juggling multiple .env files, fighting with different software development kits, and agonizing over fragmented invoices. It is totally unnecessary administrative overhead. The Kyma way, though, it's beautifully simple. Kyma acts as a single unified gateway. You get one API key, one single unified balance to manage, and you hit the exact same endpoint for everything. It takes the fragmented reality of modern AI development and elegantly condenses it into one streamlined workflow. I absolutely love this quote we pulled from the source material. Your time costs more than your tokens. Wow, that is a bold statement, and it hits the nail right on the head. As a builder, your most valuable asset isn't the fraction of a cent you might save by routing directly to a specific provider. No way. It's your time. Every hour you spend navigating another provider's documentation or setting up a billing account or debugging some random SDK, well, that's an hour you aren't spending improving your product or talking to your users. For all you founders and automation makers out there, this is a vital reminder. Don't be stingy with your compute tokens if it means wasting hours of your incredibly valuable engineering time. Now you might be thinking, okay, a unified gateway sounds great, but do I still get access to the good stuff? The answer is a resounding yes. Kyma isn't just some basic proxy. It's a comprehensive platform giving you access to basically every model worth using right now. We're talking about top-tier frontier models all running off your single balance. You've got Kyma 2.6 for agentic tasks, DeepSeek V4 Pro, and the R1 math model for top-tier reasoning. Need a massive 1 million token context window? Bam, Gemini 3 Flash is right there. Qwen 3.6 Plus, too. You can bounce from heavy reasoning to fast processing to vision without ever leaving the Kyma ecosystem. And if you already have a codebase built, you're probably dreading the idea of migrating. But look at this promise. Change your base URL and API key, and your existing code works instantly. This is an absolute game changer. Kyma uses the OpenAI-compatible format for its endpoints. So for standard calls like chat completions or messages, it's completely drop-in compatible. There's no proprietary SDK you have to install. There's no heavy, weeks-long migration project. You literally just swap out the base URL string, drop in your Kyma key, and your existing OpenAI style code continues to function as if nothing changed. The friction to actually test this out is practically zero. And this brilliantly illustrates how Kyma handles model selection using semantic aliases. Instead of hard-coding specific model versions that will inevitably be outdated in a few months anyway, you just call the model best in your code. Behind the scenes, Kyma automatically resolves that to, say, Kyma K2.6. Need something quick? Call fast, and it routes straight to Gemini 3 Flash. You can switch the underlying models with a simple string change without any SDK swap or opening a second invoice. It's like a giant puzzle perfectly solved for you. Your code just reads exactly as you intended to. This specific feature is going to be incredibly relevant for a lot of you. Let's talk about the builder ecosystem, specifically AI coding agents. If you're using powerful tools like Klein, Cursor, OpenCode, Aider, Claude Code, or Root Code, you know how crucial it is to pair them with the absolute best models. Because Kyma is an OpenAI-compatible gateway, you can route all of these incredible coding assistants right through Kyma's single endpoint. You aren't locked into a single provider for your coding agent anymore. You can dynamically switch between the best coding models available, all feeding from that exact same single account balance. Okay, so what happens when things go wrong? Because let's face it, third-party models fail. They time out, they return garbage data. Well, Kyma uses a really clever refund on failure ledger mechanism to protect your wallet. Step 1, you submit a request, and a hold is placed at the quoted price.
Step 2, if the upstream provider returns the token successfully, it settles and you're charged based on usage. Standard stuff. But step 3 is the magic part, the reverse. If that third-party upstream model times out or throws an error, the hold is instantly released. Your balance is completely restored. Every single charge has a paired settle or reverse row, which means absolutely zero engineering is required on your side to build complex retry and refund logic.
I wanted to include this specific piece of social proof because it perfectly validates everything we've been talking about. This is a quote from Thien, an indie maker based in Vietnam. "One app, every API I needed. Don't waste your life signing up for 10 dashboards." I mean, wow. That right there is the indie hacker journey summarized in 2 sentences. Real builders out there are already using this gateway to reclaim their time. They recognize that logging into multiple portals just to check token usage is a total drain on their productivity and their creativity. So, how do you actually get started? Well, Kyma gives you 50 cents in free starting credit right out of the gate. And here is the absolutely crucial part. No credit card is required. You don't have to put a card on file that you might forget to cancel later. It is entirely risk-free to test out this API gateway. You can just drop in the URL, run a few 100,000 tokens of testing with that 50 cents, and see for yourself if it actually simplifies your stack. And honestly, to put that into perspective, that 50 cents goes a really long way when you look at the sheer scale of access provided here. With 20 plus active models available through this single endpoint, you aren't just getting basic text chat. You are getting access to frontier reasoning models, complex vision models that can analyze images, and high-quality image generation models. It's literally an entire ecosystem of artificial intelligence capabilities sitting right behind one single API key, ready to go whenever your application needs them.
So the crucial point we have to talk about is reliability. You might be wondering, if I put all my eggs in one API gateway basket, what happens if it goes down? Well, the platform addresses this with 6 redundant routes utilizing built-in auto failover. When you're pushing real production traffic, uptime is literally everything. Kyma is designed so that if one underlying provider or route experiences an outage, the system just automatically fails over to ensure your request still goes through. They handle all that complex infrastructure routing so you don't have to build those fallback mechanisms yourself.
And the proof of that architecture is right there in the logs, showing 0% user-facing errors over the last 7 days. Even though they're depending on a wide array of third-party models, which, let's be real, can be super volatile, Kyma's architecture effectively shields your application from those upstream failures. When a provider hiccups, Kyma handles it, meaning your users don't see those frustrating error screens. It basically brings a layer of enterprise-grade stability to your independent projects.
Here's another fantastic real-world production example. This quote is from an OpenClaw user detailing their Jira Monitor pipeline. They are running about 1,100 requests a day. But notice the efficiency here. A 60% cache hit, resulting in $24 saved just on cached input alone. They say the cron runs itself. This really highlights not just the technical efficiency of a reliable gateway, but the financial efficiency too. When the infrastructure is solid and features like caching are utilized, your automated workflows become incredibly cheap and totally hands-off. We've talked a lot about coding and text generation, but for the content tool builders out there, Kaya unlocks the whole creative stack with one key: text, image, audio, and video. Just think about the power of that for a second. With the exact same API balance, using the exact same authentication method, you can generate a hero image for a website, craft a typography poster using an image model, and generate complex chat completions. You don't need a separate subscription for your visual assets and your text logic. It all draws from the exact same well. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really absorb this profound closing thought from the source material. The cheap thing in 2026 is the idea that ships first. In the AI landscape we're in right now, technology is moving faster than anyone can perfectly predict. The advantage doesn't necessarily go to the person with the most complex, handcrafted, multi-provider infrastructure. Nope, the advantage goes to the builder who gets their product into the hands of users fastest. Speed to market is your greatest weapon, and wasting hours configuring routing logic, it's just slowing you down. Which brings us to our final question for you today. With your API stack completely simplified, what will you build next? If you no longer have the excuse of API friction holding you back, what is the next big idea you're going to ship? I highly encourage you to take advantage of that free credit, swap out your base URL, and just see how much faster you can move. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go out there and start building.